Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast on All Hallows Eve, Halloween evening. Thomas Miller, thank you so much for joining us. I have some interesting trivia here that you might not have known about Halloween, All Hallows Eve. It actually has Christian roots. That's right. Celebrations of Christian martyrs and saints dating back to the 4th century in Rome. Can you put all that together in your mind? I wish my mom had AI. Might have been a different experience, but I doubt it. Actually, Pope Boniface IV put All Saints' Day on the calendar when he dedicated the Pantheon in Rome to the saints. The tradition of Halloween, as we know it now, dates back to the Celtic festival of Samhain. People would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. So really, tonight is an entity clearing session, if you do it right. Hey, and thank you for all the great birthday wishes yesterday on Facebook and calls and texts and everything. I really appreciate it. I love you guys more than you know. You mean the world to me. I struggled on Sunday night in Level Up. I was tired. Boy, I came back and I needed some rest. So yesterday was actually a day that I had to work on the van, getting it winterized ahead of a cold front coming in, so it was kind of a bit of a scramble. I was racing the clock all day. But we have a good week to rest. The rest of this week, we have one aspect in the sky today, and it's a good one. I've got some information on this too. Venus trines Uranus. And what's interesting is the ancients would say that both are in their fall. Venus is exalted in Pisces. It's in the opposite sign, so it's in fall. Uranus is exalted in Scorpio. It's in the opposite sign, so it's in fall. You talk to Steve Forrest, he would say, quit talking like that. Every placement has a purpose. Don't tell me it's in fall. And this is one of the most celebrated astrologers in the world today. Two ways to look at the same thing, definitely. But let's look at it from a standpoint of high timeline living, because that's what we're about around here. The collective has its struggles of its own, and we obviously see those. I blew the dust off of good old Uranus yesterday because it showed up in my solar return chart with this exact trine to Venus, and I was like, wanted to go a little deeper. So I pulled a few things that just refreshed a couple of ideas about Uranus. Obviously, it rules astrology, so there's that right there. So astrology in my solar return chart for the next year is in a trine to Venus. Even though they're in both these shadow areas, I'm going to go with Steve Forrest's way of saying it. They're here for a reason, and it's a trine. I love the definition that Judy Hall put in the Astrology Bible. The glyph of Uranus is the dual soul of humanity, separated by the cross of matter. So it links the human to the divine and is supported and energized by the circle of spirit. Now, we just cookbook think of Uranus as things like chaotic change, right? Surprises, the unexpected. But it also rules things like revolution. Think of Aquarius, the higher mind. Also in their intuition. But change and transformation and liberation for higher ground, transcending limits, breaking boundaries of the established, cracking resistances, getting rid of the past that doesn't serve in order to make room for the new that does. And I love this. It's one that I need to lock in when we talk about things when Uranus pops up, that it's the higher octave of Mercury. So if Mercury is the mind, Uranus is the higher mind. There's that link to the divine. And then you get into almost Neptunian Piscean kind of characteristics, flashes of inspiration, vibration, which of course leads to manifestation. So literally the permission to get divine inspiration of some crazy idea. Steve Jobs, those who think they're crazy enough to change the world just might do it. There's Uranus right there. So now as you go trick-or-treating tonight, remember again where it came from. It was the practice of knocking on the door and asking the owner of the home, are you up for a trick or a treat? And the idea was that if you didn't give that little person dressed in a costume warding off ghosts a treat, then they would play a trick on your house. And now you know that Halloween is a Uranian event. And I hope you have a wonderful time tonight. Do some entity clearing and some ghost warding. If that's your intention, that's the way it will be. Have a wonderful time and be safe out there, and I'll see you back tomorrow for Hump Day.